Now, have a taste of me famous Bonza Beast stew.
Delightfully tangy, yet robust.
Old family recipe.
Ah!
In fact, that was part of the old family.
So in 2001, Hayao Miyazaki once again set the standard for hand-drawn animated films with Spirited Away. The beauty and detail of the traditional animation complemented a script that was remarkably mature for a family film. And in 2003, Finding Nemo set a new standard for 3D animation. It brought in incredible realism to the environments and the characters of the film while never distracting from the story. In 2002, sandwiched between these two benchmarks of animated films is Treasure Planet. And this is fitting, I think, because Treasure Planet blended hand-drawn animation with computer graphics to create a very unique visual style. It has the emotion you get from traditional animation mixed with the dynamic camera movement and realism you get from CG. Disney's own Atlantis used this hybrid method of animation a year prior, but I'd argue that Treasure Planet leaned even more heavily into this style. This blending of form even impacted individual character designs. For instance, when the filmmakers knew that they wanted John Silver to have a fully robotic, multifunctional arm, they thought CG would be the way to go. But it's one thing to layer a CG spacecraft over a hand-drawn environment, and it's another thing to give a hand-drawn character a CG body part. If the two styles clash, you'll be left with a character that feels bony. As a proof of concept, the animators actually took a clip from 1953's Peter Pan and gave Captain Hook a robotic arm. In the end, this technique was quite successful with John Silver. For me, it's hard to tell the difference between his 3D arm and the rest of his hand-drawn body. And I think overall, this hybrid visual style works well in the film. The CG elements create a greater sense of scale to the sci-fi setting, and the traditional animation lends a grounded, gritty feel to the more emotional scenes. Throw in a story with fun characters, great action set pieces, and 2000s pop rock, and you get a movie that completely tanked at the box office. With a budget of $140 million, it's one of the most expensive animated movies of all time, and it only ended up grossing $110 million globally. Its massive flop is probably one of the reasons we didn't see more films follow with a similar visual style. The movie's failure has been attributed to being released so close to Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. It's also been attributed to the darker tone of the story. Some people also said that the source material, Treasure Island, just didn't have the same draw to kids of the early 2000s. And maybe the movie just didn't resonate with your average audience member at the time. As much as we'd like to think that Treasure Planet is Disney's great, underappreciated masterpiece, maybe it's not. Maybe it's an imperfect movie that nostalgia has been very kind to over time. And I think that's okay. When I watch Treasure Planet nowadays, I'm able to forgive the fact that some characters are a little flat and that certain segments may drag a little. The love that I had for the movie as a kid has stuck with me for nearly 20 years, and it's a little too strong for the critical side of me to overcome. And I think I'm okay with that.